Hi everyone, thanks to my new subscribers and to my old subscribers. Tonight I'm going to do third-party situation. I haven't done a third-party situation reading for a while, a few weeks. And that's also another popular reading on my channel. So that's what I'm going to do tonight. I'm just going to do what I've done in previous nights. Make 3 piles and choose 2. So this one first, I think. So can you tell me a little bit about the third-party situation of my viewer? Just going to try and mix these up a bit. The third-party situation of my viewer. I'd like some information on that. I'll take these 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So we have the hedge, vows, and the unknown. This is an oracle card reading, so it's going to be a little bit different to your average tarot reading, as you can see, and as you probably are already aware. All right, so this situation is quite complicated. I can see that he's been with this person for many, many years. It's almost as if it's now the point where things have become quite stale, because you can see her there. She's folding into the shrubbery. And that means to me that she's become a very insignificant person in this third-party situation. This is the wife or the partner or whoever it is you're competing against. It also says that she's rooted to the cause, and that means that she's very much invested in this relationship, very much so. It's like you can see that she's a lady who is becoming tired in her relationship. You can see that she could just fold into the earth from boredom, from the depression that boredom brings her, from decomposition. That's the impression I get. This relationship of theirs is decomposing, and his wife or his partner is the victim of that decomposition. You can see she's one with the earth. She's a very practical lady. She's a very grounded lady, as we've seen many, many times in previous relationships. But she's also a jealous woman, and I think she executes her duties, her housewife duties, or whatever her wifely duties, in a very practical way, but she feels that she's more one with the earth. She's the queen of the sustenance in this relationship. She's not the queen of love and beauty and sharing, you know, that you would expect in a usual coupledom where two people are in love with one another. So she's really tired. She's tired of this relationship. And once that, it says to me, once that leaf crumbles, dries out and crumbles because it's now fallen to the ground, it's now in its autumn stages, this relationship, and it kind of indicates to me that winter is coming. So basically, this relationship is going to break into shards because his partner or his wife is tired. She's sick and tired. She's had enough. But she's hung around forever. She's been around forever. And she's really, unless he pulls her out of the house or pulls her out of this relationship, she's going to stay there forever. But what it's saying is that seasons change, and they're now in the season of, they're approaching the season of coldness. And once they reach that point, it's going to be over for them. Because the thing that ties them together is the unity, are the vows they made to one another. It was something of beauty at one stage, but the relationship has run its course. It says here that there is fresh growth. There's a new relationship. There's a relationship full of love, full of romance, full of sweetness, full of understanding, and that you are both united in that respect. Whether it's in a direct way or in a indirect way, you have decided to unite. Either in a direct sense or on a soul level. So if you're just in love with this man and you don't see him every day, then you can be assured that he's very much in love with you. And he imagines you being together. Because he knows that the relationship with this lady is in the past. He knows that he has a commitment, but that it's a stale commitment, that the commitment is dying. And he wants fresh love now. He wants to feel youthful. He wants to feel alive. He simply wants to be together with you. But what these cards are saying is that this relationship of his has to run its course, because they haven't gone through all the seasons yet. But it's about to move into the final stages of evolution, so that you can begin again. It even shows that you could be together in a physical sense, and it's renewed you both. You feel the renewal, you feel the love, you feel the sweetness, you feel the romance. But what it's also saying is that even if you're together, something's been left behind that hasn't run its course, and it looks to be his old partner. So whether or not they're divorcing, whether or not they're separated, I get the impression that there's a next stage with them. You know, they either have to go through proceedings or they have to explain, you know, they have to go through something. They have to move into the final stage of their relationship, and that could be divorce proceedings, it could be moving out of the house, it could be anything. There just has to be a next step taken, but I can see that you're very much in love with one another and that you're happy. You're really happy together. And I think there's a possibility that you could unite in quite a committed fashion, because it shows me that you will take the decision to be together in a loving relationship. Okay. But it shows here with the unknown that there's still some way to go. There's still that door to move through. It's saying that the universe doesn't even know what the outcome will be into the future. The universal energies can sense that you are united as one, that you are together on a soul plane. What it's saying is that there's too many unknown factors, and the unknown factors have to do with this relationship here. Because you can see, even though she's tired, she's very much ingrained in that relationship. And what it's saying is it will be hard to get her out. It will be hard to pull her out. That's what it's saying. And because it's going to be hard to do that in a final fashion, the universe isn't sure. The universal energies have no idea what the outcome's going to be. They're like, we can see they love one another. We can see these two people are recommitting to one another, and there's a renewal here, but we're not quite sure, because this other lady is almost Mother Nature in a sense. She controls the outcome of this relationship because she's so invested in the vows they undertook. So what it's saying is that he's got to take a leap of faith, and the only way that he can move past this relationship, this former commitment, is if he takes that leap of faith, if he moves into the unknown. But it's also saying that he has enough support to do that. He has you by his side. So he has a support person now. That's what it's also saying. It's saying he's well supported to move into the unknown, but he still has to take a leap of faith for this relationship to move forward. Okay, so that was deck 1. Deck 2. Let me take this one. So we want to know about the third party situation of my channel viewer. Take this, I think. Hierarchy. La Luna, the moon. We've had this before, haven't we? But it's coming up again. But we've got a different one. Curses. Okay. It shows me in this depiction that your person and his partner are separated. And they've been separated by you. That's what it says to me. It says that in the past he took the steps to go through the door to freedom, to go through the evolutionary door, which means he's evolved out of his former relationship and moved into a new world, moved into a new state of being. And it says that his decision to take those steps was because of you. He realized that you are the happiness in his life that he wants. And it separated him from his partner. I can see they were very much alike in character. They seem like very solid people. It shows me that on both sides there was a jealousy. And I'd say the obstinacy that they both show, because they're very similar in character. They're both obstinate. They're both jealous. They're both solid in character. And I think that caused them to pound at one another. Like, you know, it kind of gives me, I kind of had the vision of two masculine animals going at it, you know, like butting one another. That's what they were doing all the time. They were butting one another, and they kept being pushed back because they were just as strong as one another, particularly in terms of their emotions. And they were almost identical in character. So I guess that's what brought them together in the first place. It says that he was in an evolved relationship, so they went through a life together, or a life cycle together. That's what it's saying. And they got quite far with it. It's like they must have progressed up the ladder in their careers together, and they must have progressed up the ladder in their social lives. So, you know, it shows me if they're progressing in both ways, they could have children, because it shows that a strong evolution, and that there's, you know, in some respect they're seniors. If they're younger people, then they're senior in their outlook, or they're mature in their outlook. That's what it says, very mature. But he's at the stage now where he's a separated man. That's the strong impression I get from these cards. So you're not really dealing with a third-party situation, because you are his central focus. You are the dream that kept his freedom alive. That's what these cards are saying. It's saying that you showed him so much love, so much romance, and so much happiness that it's taken over his world. He gladly moved into your world because he appreciated you in that way. He could see that you were happy, you were independent, you were loving, and something about his former partner, because that's what it looks like, it's just happened presently. I know you have an understanding that this is a third-party situation, but I'm not sure it is anymore. They must be still committed to one another on paper, but it really shows me here that they've moved away from one another, so maybe they're trialing a separation, or they have decided to move, to break up. That's what it says, because they are in they have different housing arrangements. That's what this card shows. I think they still live in the same area together. That's also the impression I get. They live in the same area, so they mustn't be comfortable moving far away from each other, which gives me the impression that they have a mutual commitment, and that tends to be children. If not children, you would know what that is. But it's saying that the path is clear now for you both, and you are the focus there. It says that he will still be on equal terms with his ex in some way. So that tells me that they still have a life commitment together. And that isn't broken so easily because they've gone through an evolution. But they are no longer living as a couple or out as a couple. Even if you don't know about this yet, they are no longer together. They've made a mutual decision that they have to break up. It says that into the future, this breakup is going to cause trouble, and I get the impression that it could be quite an acrimonious breakup. That's the impression I get. Because as you can see in the card, the whole situation becomes a curse to him. Is a curse. Because it shows to me that he's in love with you. That's what it shows me. But there's going to be a struggle, particularly into the future. Because I guess, it comes back to the analogy about the two animals butting heads. They're going to keep butting heads and pushing one another back. You are independent of this argument. I can see your guy used to try hard with his wife, with his ex-partner or his wife, or however they set up their relationship. ex-girlfriend. It was almost as if they'd have a fight. He'd bring her something to appease her, but she wouldn't appreciate it. You know, it's almost as if every time he went home, he tried to appease her. She used to throw a fit and say to him, "Oh, I've been cleaning all day, I've been working all day around the household, I've been looking after the kids, what have you done?" That's the impression I get. And so that's going to be the basis of the breakup. It's going to revolve, this acrimonious attitude will revolve around how much each of them invested in the relationship, in the household, and it's going to become quite troublesome. I think, though, that you will rise above this situation. It won't affect you as much as it will him. It's almost as if he'll still be the solid character for you, but you'll have this trouble. You'll have these issues. Because it also shows, confirms again that the wife has left. She's hung up her apron and she's left the household. And she did work quite hard within that household. But he's put this relationship to bed. It's like it shows me that he's done as much as he can do to try to mend this relationship. And he's taken some beautiful gestures to try and mend the relationship. So he has tried hard, and it shows me that he's, trying this, these gestures that he made to his ex-partner were tried again and again and again until the effort became worn. So it's not as if he's stomped out on his partner or anything like that. It's something that he took a long time making a decision about, and he did all he could to appease the situation. And I think that's why you've become such an important person in his life, because he just wants the happiness. He wants to be able to lay his love on somebody, and he can't do that with the person he's with or was with. And I think that's where you have won out, because you make him so happy and he just wants to feel that love and appreciate you. That's his main goal. He doesn't want the trouble anymore. It was too much trouble. It was too burdensome. So that's the current situation just at the moment. I think your third party situation is no longer. It's improving. And if you haven't developed this relationship in a direct sense, then there's room to do that. Okay, so that was deck 2. Please like, share, subscribe and comment if this reading resonated. If you would like a personal reading, my details are in the description box below.